Today I have a super special video for you, and it's all about Rafflebones. All right, let's get started. All right, I'm here on the PTR, and I wanted to bring you guys a video about Rafflebones and why it is pretty important for you to actually kill Rafflebones. Now, first and foremost, he's going to give you these Umbral Shards, which are going to be really good. You're going to need these 500 every time you kill him if he's level 60 or above. But he's going to give you some gear as well, which we'll go over the gear in a little bit and why it's kind of exciting. But when I first started this journey to really find Rafflebones, I kind of went into it as a sort of challenge to find all of his spawn locations. Having tried to dive deep into this, it really took me to a turn I wasn't expecting. So let's talk a little bit about it. So first, let's talk about Mirkgard. Mirkgard was the location or on the map where we had probably the most information. I had found a video that had talked about a spawn up here, and then had talked about a spawn location right here. It was the only video that I had seen that had two spawn locations in the same zone, so that is where I started. I went there, first location I went to, boom, there's a Rafflebones. Okay, cool. So I went to the other location, he wasn't there. So I was like, okay. So I started walking around, exploring, didn't see anything. We went down to some other locations. We went down to Reekwater, we went to Ebonscale, we went to Eden Grove, and we kind of walked around a little bit and had a hard time finding some extra locations. We did end up finding an extra one. There's one in Ebonscale. Let's get on to Ebonscale. There is a spawn location up here. He spawns, I believe it's right here. It's right in this area. You'll see a clip of it here, but he spawns right there. And I kind of walked around and I couldn't find another location. I thought, well, this is kind of odd. So we went to Reekwater. We found that in Reekwater, he spawns for sure right here, right around this area. When you go, I don't have it on my map, but I think it's right here. He'll spawn basically on the path. And then he can also spawn, I believe, he spawns up in here, but I believe he spawns right here. So I found those two locations and I was like, okay, kind of cool. Then we went to Eden Grove and I found he also spawns right here. This one's kind of weird because he actually spawns on top of the map. But if you look at the locations that he spawns, like I said, we have that location, we have right there, we have up into here. So you can see he spawns in these way markers. Now, after I started finding more and more locations, I started wondering, well, what is his spawn timer? How does he spawn? So I went up in Shattered Mountain, which was the one that I had the most information on, and a couple of spawn locations were really easy to get to. So I first started off by killing this guy up here, and then I waited for an hour, and he never spawned again. And I was like, okay. So I went to Polis, and he wasn't there. So that had me confused. So I spent the next hour or so walking around and I found another location. He spawns down in the pit about right there. I said, cool, okay, now we have 3 locations he spawns. I killed him there. I waited about a half hour or so. He didn't spawn. So I went up here to Moral Mire. He wasn't there. I came down here to Polis and he wasn't there. And I was like, okay, this is a little weird. So then I walking around and I found another spawn location right here. So this one's a little weird. This is the only location that I found that's kind of not near anything. Now there's some mobs and stuff there. That's kind of in between 2 areas. And it's really close to this spot right here, which I thought was a little weird. But he spawned right there. And I thought, okay, now we have 4 locations. So I'm like, now we have the tools to do what we need. So I proceeded to spend the next few hours going from spawn location to spawn location. And again, he never spawned. So that took me down a route of, well, what if he only spawns once in the game? What if he's in one zone, one game? I didn't think this was the case, but it took me down to Ebonscale again. We went to Ebonscale. We found him right here. And then we went over to Reekwater and we found him right here. Now, I found the Reekwater one first. So he was right here. We went to Ebonscale. We found him there. We killed him in Ebonscale. We came back to Reekwater and he was gone. I don't know why. I don't know if he had a timer. I don't know what went on. So I proceeded to try to go to locations and test it. and he seems like he can spawn in multiple locations. I even camped out here at Ebonscale. I saw him here again in this location, and I waited there for approximately about 15 to 20 minutes, and he didn't go away. So he didn't have like a despawner. Now, I don't know, there could have been somebody that just came down to Reek Water, they checked it out and they killed him. That could be the case, but I wasn't gone very long, and it was just very odd. So I spent a lot of time on the PTR, and I want to kind of tell you what I believe is going on here. Now, those are the main locations that I have found. I wanted to have a little bit more time to work on it, but the patch is coming out tomorrow, so I figured I wanted to make this video to tell you guys what I have learned so far. I might go ahead and get a map up of all the spawn locations so that can help you out, but I want to tell you what I believe is going on here. So we're going to take Shattered Mountain as our example here. All right, so what I believe is actually happening is each zone can have one spawn at a time. Now, I don't know his spawn location, or I mean his spawn timer, because I really needed a couple extra people, and I can never get, you know, enough people on the PTR, or really anybody on the PTR to help me out with it. But what I believe is happening is he has a spawn timer of probably around 15 minutes, which is kind of normal, and he will go from one spawn to the next. Now, for instance, if he's in Polis, I don't think he can spawn anywhere else, and he has to be killed in Polis before he will spawn at any other location, which is the reason why I've went over an hour in Shattered Mountain without being able to find him. I at one point just gave up trying to find him. I looked in all the locations I could possibly find, and I couldn't find him anywhere. Now, maybe he was up here, maybe he was over here. I looked, for the most part, I believe I've looked everywhere. I didn't go back into like some of the elite zones and maybe he's there. I highly doubt it, because out of all the elite zones that I've checked, I've never seen him actually spawn in an elite zone. But I've checked so many places and I was there for well over an hour. Now, when I would come back the next day, he'd be up. So maybe he has like a limit on his timer. But what I believe is happening, like I said, is he can only spawn in one location per zone. And he either has a very long timer before he will disappear, or he has a window where you have to kill him before he will spawn anywhere else. So I know this isn't that helpful, but I want to let you guys know what I found out so that you guys can be a little bit ahead on the testing. When it comes to live server, we're going to be able to test this out super quickly. And when we get an actual breakdown of everything on Rafflebones, I will try to get a map up of all the spawn locations, and I will try to get all the information out that we know. Now, let's talk a little bit about the gear that we've got. Now, I haven't killed him that many times because I actually spent a lot of time in Shattered Mountain really trying to dive into his actual mechanics of how long it takes him to spawn, how he spawns, can he spawn in the same location twice. So let's just take a little bit look at some of the loot here. We have King's Folly, we have Ferret's Fiery Bow, we have Beyond Reason, Creme de la Creme, we have that weapon. We'll just kind of look at these weapons here. The one thing that is very, very exciting is you can see some of these weapons have luck on them. So I've been actually selling, well, these down here are not weapons. This might, the 580s might be the non-named 580s, like this one right here. These are obviously just from the boxes that I've opened. But I've actually got this weapon on live server. It dropped on the first day of mutations. I think this is supposed to just be a drop from this mob, but for some reason, the first day of mutators, I was getting these and I got these like at 600. Now, out of all the items I got, I haven't gotten anything even close to 600. So this means none of the items that you're going to get from him are going to be upgradable, but you do get your obsidian gypsum when you kill him, and you're going to get your umbral shards. So you get 500, and that is insane. It is actually better to do this than getting your umbral shards per day. You know, you're going to get your diamond gypsum a lot easier this patch by doing just gathering. You're going to get your obsidian by doing this. The only thing you're not going to get is your topaz, but by doing this, you're going to get the amount of umbral shards you need. And I'm going to be camping this. I want to get 100,000 just saved up. I have probably about 20,000 right now on live. I haven't been going too hard. I've spent a lot of hours here on the PTR, and been playing a little bit of Tiny Tina's Wonderland. If you haven't played that, that's a great game. But yeah, so make sure you go out and kill him. I'm sorry, I was really hoping to get you guys a full-fledged video of this is all the information, this is all the spawn locations, but it's been a real grind trying to figure it out by myself. And whenever I can figure all of it out, I will let you guys know. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.